Well, hello, William. This is your long forgotten wife. Struggling away at the campsite, so to speak. You know, that place that we rented to just get a few things done. And well, I had a lot to say to you, and I started writing it. I wasn't, I wasn't having a good time. I want to have a good time, Billy. That's what I was born for. It's what I was born to do, you know? So, I did a little work on the house, or not the house, it's the office, yeah, the studio where we practice our acting abilities. And I put my delightful little chair in my studio because I don't want to share my chair with anybody who doesn't totally appreciate all of me unconditionally. To death do us part. I like the death part, I know. Okay, so I'm going to read to you what I began to communicate with you, and then I'm going to expound upon that with my own improvisational monologue, lecture, and criticism, and pointing out all your foibles and the truth, which is you choke on the truth. You're not having a good time with the truth these days. So I've noticed that you're slipping back into the person who, oh my God, I just lost it, totally lost it on the phone, and I had a clash of wheels, so to speak, because you see, I have to wear two pairs of glasses because one makes me look sexy and one makes me look so I can see. You have to have both, you know. And so I'm gonna go read to you, and there's gonna be music involved. The show is a musical, by the way. Did you know that? And I suggested many months ago, I had this perfect. I had it all figured out how to get this over there and have the glasses over here. All right? Is that good, Billy? Do I look sexy now? And I said to you, you know, being that it is a comedy musical, at some point in one of the episodes, you're going to have to sing. And I think it's very appropriate for you to sing Sex Machine for all your fans. Fans only. Anybody who would want to see that would be a fan because you're so good at it. I don't mean in bed. I mean on the stage, of course. Yeah. So here is what I was writing to you before I put on a little song to go with my lecture or my presentation or whatever you want to call it. I don't care. Just call me for dinner. The debut Beverly and Lovey scenario a la moi. There has been for some time now, 4 to 5 years, a backstory behind who and how Beverly and Lovey are what they are today. Bill, you are unaware of it because you've ignored me and Beverly for some period of time. During that time, I have brainstormed involuntarily, much like my involuntary servitude that I've been forced to endure because of your proclivities, involuntarily to conceive of dozens of scenarios. That means my thoughts don't require any effort because it comes naturally to me to be a genius. I don't have to try. Unlike others. You know who I mean. Your relatives. So the dozens of scenarios for Beverly and Lovey to engage in, I have been thinking about them. So at one point, you began fantasizing about having your feminine persona come to life, so to speak, but you still sat on it for 5 years. I was and am open to your trans person to come out at times. But when you need to what we need to remember is that the main personality that you have is a dominant one, and it's the gangster who is like Columbo or Inspector Clouseau, seemingly daft, stumbling and mumbling, oblivious, but that's because he's not on the job. He's got the ability to be passive and submissive and feminine at home, and then the opposite at his gangster life, with its various missions and capers and plots, manipulations of people, etc., just like you in real life. The whole point is to be like we are in real life. And I'm not a dominatrix in real life, so I'm stretching myself to appease you, but it's not going to be a full-time job for me. And most of all, you, the character, is a pathological liar. He makes up bizarre stories about everyone in his circle just to make colorful conversation and to make himself out to be the hero of every one of his friends, family, and associates. He's so delusional that he believes his own lies. So you must remember to stay in character even if you should appear as Jilly, because the real Billy is more like Killy, the serial killer. As the third personality, you must be aware to show all three personalities in every skit, in every episode. Make references to your work, your unsavory associates, the 10 pounds of steak in the freezer that fell off the truck right in front of our house. Okay, do you understand? The gangster stuff needs to come into play, even while you're being feminine. Now, today, when I asked you to improv something for me, you froze. You refused. And then you denied being a gangster. You denied that you like to act that way, or that you do act that way all the time. And quite frankly, that is the defiance in you that makes dominating you impossible. You won't cooperate. You become belligerent, ornery, withdrawn, and impossible to communicate with when you put on your feminine persona. Now, when you're even thinking of being Jill, you become defiant and unwilling to go along to get along. Okay, now it's time for me to make this presentation for you via the genuine improv Beverly Hillshire performance du jour in character. Okay, so when I asked you to sit down and write out aspects of your character that will be emphasized in the show, you didn't remember a damn thing that I've been saying to you for the last 5 years. What you did was you made a list of your sexual fantasies that you've been talking about for 7 years, but never actually follow through on, and it's been very frustrating for me. Now, if you want to do that in the show, talk about it, that's fine. And if you want to do a little bit of it, I've described the scenarios to you ad nauseum about what would be good for the show with you and your feminine side. Going behind the changing room divider, changing into Jilly, and then coming out as her. Now don't forget Killy. Killy's the gangster, the serial killer. He kills his enemies, and you need to make references to that. You need to come out as all three of your personas in these episodes. So you said that you didn't have any muse, any trigger, and I was giving you all the muses and triggers. Oh, I don't want that gangster stuff. That's not me. That's a lie. That's a pathological lie. That is absolutely you. So you can't lie to me. You can't say no to me and make up a ridiculous excuse like that, which I know to be a lie, because lying to me is lying to the boss. If you lie to the boss, you're not going to do very well on the job. You're not going to get the raise or the promotion that you need, okay? So, he's got to have a job. They've got to make reference to how they're making a living. Your job is gangster. Me, white Mama Slap Rap. I'm a rapper. And at some point, we're going to have a scenario where I'm doing my rap and there's an actual audience of black people enjoying my rap. And I discovered where I could actually make that happen at a nightclub down here on Hollywood Boulevard called Harold's. They have karaoke night on Thursday night, and it's all black people. And I asked them, I would like to know if you could play Gangsta Paradise, just the instrumental, and if I could rap my own words to that. That would be carte blanche immunity. And they said, absolutely. We can film that, and it can be Beverly Hillshire on stage. They won't know that I'm Beverly. They won't know that we're filming. They don't know that they're supposed to sign releases before we can put them on Fans Only. So we're going to break all the laws. We're going to make things happen in public. Public, Billy. We don't have a home together anymore. So if you want to do this feminine thing, and then all of a sudden you're going to say, and you've been saying for 7 years, you want to go out, you want to do it out, you want to go out, you want to get married in Hawaii as a woman, you want to be out as a lady. And I'm like, okay, do it. You chicken out, you can't do it. Then you said you want to do it on the show. And all of a sudden, oh, but I don't want to do it out in public. And I don't want to let the judge know. Everyone's going to know, Bill. If you're going to go out like this and step out of the closet, everyone, all the cops, all the judges, everybody's going to know. Because you're talking about Billy the Gangster hooks up with Annie the Madam and they do a comedy show. It's going to be headliner. It's going to go viral. You can't hide behind anonymity when you're with me. And vice versa. Right in a horsey. I don't mean a horsey. I mean in a hearse. That wasn't even funny. Okay. So, there's a lot more to the backstory that I haven't gotten to yet with you. But what we need to do is have you watch some of the old Beverly Hillshire episodes from Beaumont, and you'll get the gist. And I will absolutely rent that pool at the mansion for a couple of hours. And I want to round up a cameraman. Maybe that fellow that we had helped me move. He would love to be the cameraman, I'm sure. So we'll get much better footage and a lot more out of the experience of being there. I have to order my pink flamingo. It's got to have a pink flamingo because Fergie had one in her movie and I have to have one in my movie. You know? I have a little outfit on that is very expensive. Yes, and I put expensive trim on my hat, see? And I have the same choker around my neck, you see? Everything's coordinated. Everything is planned out, but it's still improv. Now, for the first episode, this is what my vision of it should be. And I've had this vision for quite some time. My visions aren't going to change. I've always said you could come in as Jill and Kelly and be the feminine person, but not all the time. All right. You have 3 personalities, just like in real life. And so we go over to the man who's doing the stars on the Hollywood Boulevard, and I asked to have my name put on a star, and then I start asking stupid questions, and then I say to you, now you'll worship the ground I walk on, right? Because I'm a star on the Hollywood Boulevard. And you get all flustered and, yes, absolutely. Oh, my God, absolutely, yes. I said, now I want you to get down on your knees and get out your little beanie and your little Kabbalah Bible book and say your prayers and worship me right here, right now. And I want you to do it with your shirt off, half naked, in front of all these people. Why? Because I think you should be more transparent, more truthful, and half naked. You're definitely being more truthful, aren't you, dearie dear? And we'll have a feminine, dominant scene. It's going to be in public, Bill. It's always going to be in public. You understand that? Okay. Unless we're at the pool and the jacuzzi and it's just the 2 of us and the camera boy and the page boy and the cocktail boy and the butler. and Greg, the furniture deliverer with very thin cushions on the seats. You're not going to micromanage me to the extent where you can determine how thick the cushion is under my buttocks. Because I shall have a thick cushion under my buttocks if I so desire. You remember that? That's why we're going to a pool to do this episode. So remember, my memory of you as a girl is not good because you are withdrawn, conceited as all hell. All you do is look in the mirror and think you're beautiful. You're not. As a woman, you're not beautiful. You're beautiful as a man, in my opinion, because I prefer that. And you're crazy looking, maybe, but no, you think you are, and you feel beautiful. That you're as beautiful as you feel. And if you feel beautiful, then you are beautiful. But you don't engage in any conversation with anyone but the mirror. You become narcissist, the total narcissist. You totally. He channels himself through you when you do that. So if you're going to lose your ability to act and lose your touch with reality, that's going to be a problem. It's up to you to do your characters, all three, and act and improv and speak and make jokes. Make jokes. I want you to think of jokes you can make about the star on Hollywood Boulevard. One of the jokes I thought of was, I'm going to say, sir, so this is Marilyn Monroe's star on the boulevard. Are each of the stars buried here beneath the sidewalk? Is this the graveyard? And I really do think that, and I get a re-education. Well, why not? I think that would be great to have all of your fans roaming around and admiring you all day. I mean, in a graveyard, no one comes there. Nobody visits a graveyard to go see Marilyn Monroe. Probably not even allowed to. I think they should bury the stars right underneath the sidewalk, right under their star. And I want my funeral and my burial to be under my star. There's my star right there. That's where I should be buried. And I'll go off in my delusional, narcissistic type rampage, and you'll yes ma'am me entirely, and you'll say, I'd be happy to do that. I can make arrangements for tomorrow. Okay? Joke? You want me dead? You love me? You want me dead? Okay? Just like in real life. Are you catching the drift? All you gotta do is be real and remember all this stuff that you've already said and done with me, and just do it for the camera with funny expressions on your face and crack some jokes, and don't be quiet when you're a girl. Girls are never quiet, Billy. Look at me. I'm quiet. Well, that's all for now. I put a lot of effort into this with my hair and my makeup and 2 pairs of glasses and 2 bras and 2 pairs of underwears. And you should see my outfit. Oh, God, everything is falling off my face. And I'm having a hard time keeping all of the accessories on, because they're not the right size. They were on sale and things like that. Now, I look kind of like an Arab with an Arab thingy-dingy. The Arabs have those thingy-dingies that dangle around their heads. How come I can't get my actual body in the body shot? Okay, now, it's a lovely jacket and a very flimsy gown with no shape or anything. I'm hoping I can find a bra that doesn't show. And of course, the hat is divine. And I did all of this for you, Billy, because I said I would. And I always do what I say what is true, and there's no secrets here. Like, oh, tomorrow, which is today, you're going to see your music producer man. But you wouldn't give me his name? Why? Because you don't trust me that I'm going to not steal him away from you and cut you out of the deal? You're not in the deal, Bill. It's my music. I wrote it. I'm going to profit from it. Any husband worth his salt would introduce his talented wife to a music producer without asking for a cut. You've got your cut in advance. So you know. I know several times you've been proposing to me. So, you're going to send him the thing, and then if he decides to buy it, he's going to sign a contract that I will devise, and I'll cut you in for 50% or whatever, and I'll be able to do that for you. I'll do that for you, baby. No, Bill, you're not going to take a piece of my action. You've already got more than your share, and you took it without my permission or authority, against all common sense and legals and morals and ethics. If you loved me, you would have introduced me to him by now. So prove it. Because your little head games and secret, I won't tell you. No. He's got to promise. I got to go to him and make him promise me a piece of your action before I'm going to tell him the same thing. I'm going to play a game with him where no, you can't meet her unless you cut me in, and you have a separate contract with him behind my back, and taking money off the back end and doing kickbacks and backstabbing and all. That's how you roll. I know you. That will not happen anymore. All right, that's enough for now. Little reality check doesn't hurt nobody. Did it? Good night. Beverly Hillshire, at your service, huh? Jeez. Am I not too fine in my outfit? My outfit is lovely. And that's the way you act when you're a lady. Only you don't say anything. You just look in the mirror and go, I'm talking to you over there, and you're like admiring yourself in your phone mirror with the camera on yourself. You're pathetic, but I love you.